Oink, oink.
Oh,
oink.
Babe,
Oink,
Brenton.
Oink, oink, oink.
What are you doing here, buddy? I thought you'd be hanging out on the farm.
Oink, oink, oink.
What's that?
Oink, oink. Oh, oink,
Human
oink,
Brenton's fallen down the well.
Oink.
The well at the edge of the farm?
Oink.
Oh, Babe Brenton. May as well just leave him there, shouldn't we? Welcome to Classic Movie Banter!
Classic Movie Banter! You know that
Episode-
show where we review movies that are like 20 years old?
20 years.
Oh, or 20 years or older. Not exactly 20 years. That'd be a bit of a shit podcast.
It'd be just 1999 films. It'd be like, what a banger of a year 1999 was.
Pretty sure it was, you know?
Do you
Well,
remember
not a
New
bad
Year's
year,
Eve from
99.
1999? Side note. We would have been like 3 years old, but like, no.
No memories. Sorry. Rip 19.
I remember how exciting it was going through 2012 New Year's, because like it was almost the end of the world, like a week before that, so everyone went wild for 2012 New Year's.
Yeah, man.
It was a good time. Anyway, welcome to Classic Movie.
Oh no,
Banter.
I was trying to remember what I was doing, but yeah. Let's continue with the
Yes,
episode.
yes.
Hello.
Brenton, it's a beautiful day, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a pretty good day.
It's
Pretty
pretty
nice
wonderful.
outside.
It
Yeah.
makes, you know what, with the sun shining as it is and bloody Sydney, I say let's get the fuck out of the city, Brenton. Let's go way into the country.
Yeah, let's do it. You know what, Nathan? I've got to say, before this week, I thought that this podcast had some, some standards. You know what I'm saying?
That we've had, or has it though, Brenton? Have we really? Like,
No.
if you're a new
even the
listener,
times
just get
that-
the fuck out now. Just
Even,
like,
even the times that I thought, my faith faltered a little bit, it always came back strong. We'd always do we'd do an episode that would just, you'd be like, yeah, we're back on track.
yeah.
I think this is us jumping the shark because we're fucking talking about Babe 1 and 2.
We're going back to our double bill.
And I feel like this might be the worst this might be the worst idea we've ever had.
This is the worst idea we've ever had. Oh, okay. Look, okay. So we did this differently, Brenton, because I watched Babe 1, and then, I went outdoors, I lived life for a couple of days, and I came back and I watched Babe 2. You, on the other hand, what did you do, Brenton?
I fucking locked myself inside a greasy dungeon, and I watched Babe 1 and 2 consecutively without a break.
That's amazing.
I couldn't get enough.
Were you alone? Like, did you have anyone there in the house? Oh, Brenton. Could you imagine just the fam, they come home and they just see you sitting on the couch just like watching fucking Babe, and they're like, oh jeez. Like, I got fucking looks from my housemates when I was watching this, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. But yeah, we're here to talk about Babe 1 and Babe 2. Brenton, can you pitch these movies to me?
Alright, here we go. Babe 1. So I'm coming into your office, and my name's George Miller, and I plop myself down in the seat and I say
G'day,
hello.
George Miller. George Miller, I'm a big fan as a producer. You've done great films like Mad Max 1, Mad Max 2. In a decade, you're going to make Happy Feet. But here in 1995, I want to hear what's next from visionary director Mad Max.
Look, I wrote this screenplay, and I think you need to hear about it. It's called Babe.
Okay, is it about a stellar hot babe that we follow? Or?
No. It's about a pig called Babe.
Okay,
and this pig is basically raised by some sheepdogs, and it decides that it wants to do what the sheepdogs do and herd sheep, and it succeeds in doing this, and it has to basically take down the patriarchy and prove that pigs can also herd.
Patriarchy. Okay,
It's a hell of a film I've got cooking up here. It's got it all. It's.
What is the plot of this movie?
Well, I just said it. It's just the pig wants to herd.
The pig wants to... But Brenton, this is 1995. A pig can't herd sheep.
Hey, just know that after 95, fucking anything's possible.
Okay, alright. So let's assume this pig can maybe herd some sheep.
Yeah.
George Miller, I see tucked in your back pocket that you're pulling out of your ass at the moment.
Well, you see...
Covered in shit is a script that says Babe 2. And I dislike that you've done this in my Hollywood studio, but let's have a read of that anyway.
I've been working on this because I know that... I know that Babe is sequel bait. Like, this is going to make all the dollars. And I got this idea. It's called Babe 2, Pig in the City. I feel like that's all I need to say at this point, but I will continue. So I can't spoil the end of Babe 1, but Babe has still proven his worth and is still alive. Thank goodness, because all hail Babe. But but gosh, am I going to recover from that? What happens is basically the farm's in turmoil that Babe is located on, and the family realize that they need to raise some funds. So they send the pig to the city to raise those funds.
And I guess he just goes on a whirlwind adventure.
He
in
learns
the big
some
city.
life lessons in the city, and he does some exploration. He meets some new friends, and he attempts to win some funds back by with the intention of may or may not hurting sheeps, depending on how he succeeds in the first film. That's Babe 2, Pig in the City. The most important thing is the title, Babe 2, Pig in the City. That's all you need to know. The pig is in the city. It's unleashed.
Okay.
Who doesn't want to see a pig in the city?
Already enough pigs in the city, am I right?
Zing.
Well, as a Hollywood producer, obviously this sounds like the most viable film you can put on the market. You're really catering to all four quadrants. So, you know what, mate? I'm gonna give you tens of millions of dollars to make both these movies, and fingers crossed, hope to die what they both do well. So, Brenton, let's rip off this Band-Aid. Good pitch, and let's talk about Babe 1 and Babe 2.
Yeah, I gotta say, my favorite part, there's two favorite things in that pitch, I gotta say.
Look at what I just did so well then,
Well, I feel like that we have two recurring jokes that could occur in this podcast, potentially, already.
Okay.
One, all hail Babe.
Yes.
Two, Babe takes down the patriarchy.
For fuck's sake. Oh my goodness, these movies. Brenton, okay,
Dude, Babe can do anything. He's...
You know when people complain about the new Star Wars films that Bloody Daisy Ridley's too OP. I feel like low-key that might be Babe in these movies.
Babe could be a Jedi. Babe could balance
I
the Force.
would pay any sum of money just in the fucking Rise of Skywalker to see fucking Palpatine return from the dead, and out of nowhere comes fucking Babe in a Sith hoodie, and the bloody toenails on his feet have several are red lightsabers.
Yep,
they're little daggers, and he just he's got okay, better idea. He's got a lightsaber strapped to the edge of his nose, and it's just darted out like a fucking joust, and he just charges Daisy Ridley and just chops up shop.
Dude, I'm down. Let's do it.
All right, Babe 1. Let's talk about Babe 1 before we talk about Babe 2. What do you think about this, Brenton?
Babe 1?
Babe 1.
Oh, I sound like I'm in physical pain. Look, here we go. For all of its faults, for all of its idiotic idiosyncrasies, I think Babe 1 is nice. It's touching.
You really sound like you're breaking up with someone right now. It's you're nice. I'm sure you got a great personality.
It's it had good intentions, and it was touching. It was touching. At the end, you're like, oh. Fucking pigs.
Yeah, because man, that's what I was saying at the end of the credits. Man, fucking pigs, eh?
They can do shit. Get me one of those. You know what I mean? Other animal-based films. I don't know, like Lassie or Marley and Me. It makes you want to get that animal.
Oh boy, have I got a fun fact for this, by the way. But keep going.
Babe did not want me. Babe made me not necessarily want to buy a pig for but I went and bought some rashers of bacon.
Oh my goodness. Did you really? Brenton?
No, I'm just, okay. I'm having... Actually, no, I did actually cook bacon that night, though.
Did you really?
That's, yeah, fuck, sorry, guys.
Did you realize halfway through, you're wait a minute, I'm the monster. I'm the villain.
Yes, and I got all of that protein.
Look, I'm gonna be frank with you, Brenton, alright? I'm gonna hold you up for this, okay?
Sure.
I loved Babe 1.
Babe 1, you loved it?
I bloody loved it, Brenton. My heart melted and warmed like bloody Christmas Day with Babe 1.
It was touching. It had some weird moments, but, characters were fun. This is
like a high school date who's just so wonderful, but, there's some acne on this date. We got to pop some pimples on this thing,
Okay.
That was horrible. Sure. Look, okay. Look, I really loved Babe 1. Actually, I thought it was it's very, very jolly, isn't it? It's a very warm, like, you would never see this film made today. Maybe except for the Paddington movies, that's probably its closest contemporary.
Yeah, and I think the important thing to remember too is that these are aimed at children and families, like these films. They're not,
and we are
this
neither.
Is us. We are neither. But at the same time, I still think these are sorry, I'm not going to say these. I think Babe 1 is pretty well made for what it is. Like it's
100%, especially for 1995. Like, I think, look, some of the CGI doesn't hold up today with the talking animals.
Gosh,
like,
no.
It does look they've literally strapped on like a mouth to this animal, and it's like, oh, it doesn't look that good. My heart warmed for Babe. I think the selling point of Babe 1 is the actual pig itself. You love Babe in this movie. Like his weird ass voice aside, my heart melted for him. I just felt so sorry for him the whole movie.
Can you do a Babe impression?
Oh, Babe. Is that it? Like,
that is by far the worst impression for anything you have ever done. That was awful. That was catastrophic. That was, I don't even know what that was. That
shut the fuck up, alright? Look, no one can do whatever voice that voice actress did for Babe.
That was hilarious. That made the episode.
Thank
you for that.
I bleed for this podcast. All right, follow us on Twitter. Come back next week. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Dude, can we please make that like a timestamp in this episode? Just Nathan's impression of Babe.
It goes like 5 seconds. Just like maybe. I'll
Babe.
Fuck off. I'll see the mood when I'm editing this episode. Like, oh fuck. I have to listen back to the shit. Anyway, look. I like Babe. The majority of the entire animals I take issue with, Brenton.
You said the majority though. Like there's some.
Yeah, the majority. Look, Babe's great. Like I love Babe because he's so cheerful. He's got a funny haircut, and like, you know, he's given it as all. You get what he wants. The other animals. What's with the anorexic duck?
Mate, that duck has got issues.
I fucking hate that duck. Oh my god. When they... Oh, this is kind of a spoiler. You can't spoil Babe. When they had fucking...
Yes. We have 2 sections,
Okay,
Nathan.
fine. Alright, fine. I'll hold back. Fine, I'll talk... Okay, I'll hold off about the fucking dog. Hugo Weaving. Iconic Australian actor Hugo Weaving plays the dog Rex.
Yes.
Rex, yeah. Great original name for a dog. And then Miriam Margolyes, Professor Sprout herself, plays the other dog. And what do you think of the two of them?
You know what? I like them.
You like them?
I don't mind them. I think they do some good work. I think like Viggo Mortensen.
Fucking, I would have loved that casting.
Fucking Hugo Weaving as Rex. I think like, you know, he's just got that stoic voice that, you know, like that you know, the characters themselves make some interesting decisions during the film. Rex in particular, but you know. Again, I think these are 2 great actors, obviously, that are, you know, giving a decent performance.
Speaking of not decent performance, what do you think of the fucking mice?
Oh, the mice can go fuck themselves, seriously.
I hated these mice. What idiot? Because these films, they're not just like 1 or 2 are just making this shit in isolation. Like, you go through so many people, like... Universally, why did they think like fucking Alvin and the Chipmunk high-pitched mice singing in between each chapter? Because I didn't even mind the chapter segment of this movie. I didn't mind that. But the fact that the mice were singing it and they were like doing tunes in between scenes, I was ready to like just to incinerate them.
My thing is that like if you remove that aspect of the film, if you remove those mice, does it actually change anything?
No, I don't think it does. Because like, they don't contribute anything to the plot. It's like the same bloody problem I had with Bambi with that fucking woodpecker. That's right.
It's the same problem I have with Mickey Rooney in fucking...
oh my god. We'll get to Babe 2, mate. We'll get to Babe 2.
You know we know where I'm heading with this,
I know where you're heading, mate.
Like, okay, I'm not
hold
going
off
to say
that
the mice are not quite to that level, but holy shit. Like...
Cut them out.
If you don't need it, just get rid of it. It's the rule of thumb. Like,
just to bleed a little bit into Blade 2. Blade 2. Oh, I wish it was Blade 2. It's
Blade 2.
Oh, could you imagine that segue?
Yeah.
Just Blade rocks up and just slices Babe in half. Anyway. That'd be amazing. No, but then the mice are back in the sequel. So obviously, even when the film came out and it got seen by millions around the world, the producers universally agreed that the mice had to stay. I hated the mice. I hate them, Brenton. I do not like green eggs and ham, and those mice can go fuck themselves.
Yep, I agree with you entirely. We're doing a lot of agreeing in this episode, I
We
feel.
really are, Brenton. I like it when we have accords, you know? Speaking of things we agree in, do you reckon the cat sounded like Moaning Myrtle when she talked?
Oh, that's actually, it's funny you thought that, actually, because I didn't, so, but now you say
From agreement
it,
to disagreement.
but now you say it, yes, like, yes, that makes sense, like, gosh.
Oh. I was just like, and that cat's fucking weird. I'm like, this ain't no
But that's
Crookshanks.
it, isn't it? I think that the cat's, like, weird in the sense of, like, it's not the voice I really expect for the cat, like...
No. Do you regret that we did our animals episode before Babe?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I feel like now that we've seen this, like, I'm surprised we didn't think of Babe, actually. Like, because, like, we did make the joke we would... Or, we probably should say we're doing this episode because of the fucking joke we made, like, 20 episodes ago that I'm immediately regretting.
You know, and I can't even remember the joke. It wasn't,
No.
you know?
I just said to you this week, I'm like, oh, remember we talked about Babe ages back? We should do Babe. And you're like, no. But I'm like, come on. And you're like, fine. Brenton, where is this movie set? Because
I can't tell you, like, honestly, like...
Actually, can we make this a segment? Because I feel like we're going to bleed into Babe too soon. Actually,
Because,
yeah,
like,
we're going to get into this. But, like, in Babe 1, okay, Babe 2 aside, because that's a bigger question for Babe 2. But Babe 1, they have American accents. Both of them.
Yes.
The wife and the farmer. And we'll get into the wife's accent in Babe 2. They have American accents in the first one. And like when they go to the carnival, it's like country America. But Brenton, this is the most like English like country town I've ever seen in my life.
It's bizarre, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
I thought
there's
like I
nowhere
was
in America that looks like this.
I thought it was in like we're on another planet almost. You know what I mean? Like it was
Maybe
like
it is.
Ooh, I wouldn't put it past George, to be honest. But I know what you mean. Like it's a bit inconsistent on that level in the sense of like it's just like here's a farm. Kids know what a farm is. They know all these animals are on the farm. Don't think about it. But specifically, like I'm not sure where we are. Like because it feels like an English like countryside, but then everyone's American. So it's
so weird and like it's just so illogical that like you know they're in this isolated farm and it's told through this anthology story. I'm surprised this is a movie because the way it's told, it's because half the movie for the first half it's like maybe 5 or 6 short stories about this pig's life, and then the second half of the movie the main plot finally kicks in where he's like, oh, I want to be a sheepdog. And then it's like a 40-minute segment. I feel like this is something that you would put on for kids, like where they'd watch like 6-minute spurts before they have to go like take a shit or something like that. And then they like come back and they maybe watch another bit of the movie before they learn how to like, you know, clean a window. I don't know what kids do.
Nathan. That is the funniest way you have pitched a film in the sense of like who this film is made for. It's for little kids that can't hold their shit for 6 minutes and have to keep moving the room. Like that's who Babe is for.
Because it feels so illogical that it would only please kids. Another thing I was confused with, what year is Babe 1 set in? Because that's the most confusing thing about this movie.
Again, it's this thing that this world is like, it doesn't
It's not
feel
the real world, is it? It's
No,
not
it's
the real
not.
world. It's some weird, like, snow globe kind of world, isn't it?
That's it. It's like they've taken the idea of, like, kids know what a farm is. That's simple. We will just throw all these images and all these things that they can relate to and put them in this world that doesn't necessarily make sense. And we're not going to make it... It has its own aesthetic, basically.
Oh, yeah. And when George Miller takes the reins for number 2, he ramps that shit up, doesn't he?
He does.
Oh, yeah.
He does. So I'd be interesting to know what the Babe, like, cinematic universe holds, and I'd like to hear some, like, fan theories on Babe.
I bet there's some great theories out there. Like, it's funny because I was watching this going, okay, they have fax machines, but everyone drives, like, 1950s cars. And I'm like, it must be in the present day, but it's just not the present day.
It's bizarre.
Like, it's just, I don't understand it. The whole time I was watching Babe 1, I was kind of like, can you just segue into Animal Farm or just something else? Because the actual plot of this movie is just so rudimentary. And like,
yeah.
Unless you are so young, you I don't know. You just get skeptical, which is what I was doing throughout so much of the film. It's funny because even despite that, when the sheepdog plot finally kicked in, I finally really warmed up to the movie, and by the end of it, I loved it. But I remember that first half was such a struggle.
It is, yeah. It's just so mundane, isn't it, in that sense? And it's great when that plot actually, well, the plot, we'll call it, actually kicks in.
Yeah.
can I have a little bit of a tangent? Can I have a little random side note?
Brenton, you're always welcome to side note on this podcast.
Thank you, Nathan. So here we go. What I'm going to talk to you about quickly is fan theories.
Yeah.
And fan theories for shit that like no one cares about and that makes them funny fan theories.
Yeah.
So the reason I bring this up is that just recently I heard perhaps one of the funniest theories I've heard for a film that I don't think warrants it, but I think it's similar to this. Like we've got this conspiracy that Babe might be set on like another planet or like in an alternate reality or like its own universe, right?
Yeah.
So there's a fan theory I was reading for Shrek.
Okay.
Shrek 1.
Yes.
Shrek is a very unique name, we can all agree.
Yes.
Have you thought as to how he acquired that name?
No. Not many have, one assumes.
Well, people on the internet think of funny shit. So here's one I heard. Okay, when Donkey asks Shrek what his name is in Shrek 1, Shrek responds with, and I quote, Shrek. So there's a few questions raised there, and this theorist raised.
Do you reckon he
those
makes
as well.
it up on the spot?
He makes it up on the fucking spot.
That's amazing. That's
But
incredible.
and that's the name that sticks. And that he is just called, Shrek. Like,
But Shrek also makes no sense. Do you reckon he just like said some gobbledygook word that just happened to like, Shrek? Like,
yeah, like I think he was just trying to fuck off Donkey and Shrek.
because how does Babe get his name? Oh, that's right. All of the pigs that all of his siblings are called Babe. That's right. So like, maybe that was another thing that happened in Shrek. Maybe it was just like he had like all these like twins and like they were all called Shrek and he's the last one.
But Nathan, like when you ask me my name, like as though
Yes.
you're a stranger, like, hello, what's your name? So I don't respond with, Brenton?
Yeah, no one pauses before they answer. That's like the one question
And
hopefully
then-
you can name.
And then
like,
says it with an upward inflection, like with a question mark on the end of it.
Brenton? Like,
Brenton? Like,
it's very true,
Anyway.
Brenton.
see, this is the shit you got to think about when you watch films like Babe, and especially, segue,
Babe 2. Alright, Babe 2. So you know what? My heart bloody warmed with Babe 1. I'm invested in this pig. I'm like, this is a quaint little farm. It's the old world, it's a nice reminder of the simple life. Babe
Yes.
2, Brenton. Babe 2 takes all that, and they're like, how can we just destroy that?
This film is bizarre.
It is the most bizarre film I think I've ever seen in my life. Like,
it is.
oh.
I don't even know what
Where do you
this
begin
is.
with Babe 2? Because, like, I think I'm trying to understand what Babe 2 is. Because, yeah, it's about this pig that goes to this city and it's about this, like, adventure in the city. You really can see that George Miller really took the reins on this project. Because when I was watching this, I kept on asking myself, is this set in the Mad Max universe? Because there are points where this 100% could be set in the Mad Max universe.
It's bizarre.
It's this weird, because after watching Mad Max when we did it a few episodes back, it's this weird nightmarish version of a city where just everyone's horrible and just...
Yeah. And it incorporates all of these locations from places that, like,
Yeah.
don't coincide, and you're like...
I feel like George went up to the costume department. Like, he went to some, like, Fox Studios warehouse, and they said, okay, which costumes do you want for, like, the people of the streets? And he said, all of them. They're like, but we have, like, Victorian clothing, we have, like, biker gangs. Like, I want all of it. Just the whole costume department. I want to fill the streets with it.
You could argue, like, I was thinking, is it that it's from Babe's perspective, and so, like, as an animal, it's like, what he's seeing is, like, an extreme vision on what is actually reality?
Yeah. I like to think that maybe, like Babe just happened to, like, chew on the farm some hallucinogenic mushrooms, and he just happened to envision this journey to the city.
But again, like, it's this thing of, like, it's just this bizarre amalgamation of, like, everything, and it's assaulting, like, as a viewer, and so it's obviously aimed at children to be like, whoa, look at all this shit,
Never go to
kids.
the city. Well, that's the thing. What the fuck is the, like, message of this movie? Because I don't get it. There's literally nothing imparted. You learn nothing from
I was
this
about to
film.
spoil it, sorry, but it's, yeah, I don't
You know what I mean?
like,
because he meets these horrible people, and Babe is normal Babe. Like, Babe goes through no arc in any of these movies, by the way, because he starts off great and he ends up great. So, like, he saves some animals, he tries to do some good stuff. And by the end of it, you're just going, what did we learn from all this? And, like, is it trying to turn children off cities? Is it trying to have this, like, this country versus city debate? Because it doesn't do it intelligently in the slightest.
No, not at all. And the ending's just... It seems to be promoting that message, I guess, but it's not...
It's just
satisfying,
and it's weird because George Miller made the weird decision of like, this is because I was worked for the first half of the film, like, okay, what city is this in? Because I could see some skyscrapers. I'm like, because I'm like, okay, but then there's a scene. Brenton, scroll down for me to the stills part because I actually screenshotted this.
Yeah, it's worth a screenshot
of when Babe. This isn't what stilled this movie, but I wanted it for you and I for reference, where Babe looks out at the window and the question of what city is this is finally answered. Because literally every landmark that exists on the planet is in this city.
I don't know what to say about this.
It's the
most confusing thing ever. Like, it's just, I don't know. And
it's like, it's got like bloody, like, Big Ben and the Golden Gate Bridge and the Eiffel Tower and the, Jesus Christ statue. It's just, I don't know. I just don't get it, you know? Like, even the message, because all cities are not the same, you know? It's just kind of weird that George would assert that it is.
it's this idea that it's very assaulting, it's bizarre, it's bonkers, and again, like, you're right, it's like we're describing a Mad Max film almost.
It is. And it's out of time, because the city's full of 1950 cars, despite the fact that this occurs after the fax machine. Like, I just don't get it. Like, you know what got me through this? I almost played a drinking game with this movie. I almost had a shot every time you heard the word pig, because I reckon that would have gotten me well cooked. Like,
whatever the pig says goes.
Oh my god, fucking the lines in this movie. There are two human characters that I finally really ganged up on in this movie, because one was bloody, female Johnny Depp Willy Wonka, who ran the hotel.
Oh, yeah.
Who was so weird.
Weirdo.
Yep, but then, even weirder still, he's back, Brenton. Just when you think after Tiffany's we wouldn't see him. Mickey Rooney.
Yep.
In a less racist performance, but still very bad. Which, you know, is the most generous thing we could have said.
Took him a few decades to have some improvement, but here we are.
Mickey Rooney was like the most prolific actor in like the 40s, and this is how far he's sunk to be in Babe, Pig in the City.
This whole film is just so... It feels a bit out of touch, to be honest.
It's like, horrible. All these animals are bigoted against pigs for no fucking reason. Like, the only thing that really got me through it was kind of going, hey, we live in Sydney. Look at all these fun Sydney locations I recognize.
Totally, yeah. But even then, like, I don't think that's enough, like, obviously to, like...
No, also that doesn't, like, help our wider audience, Brenton. Not everyone lives in Sydney.
But it's that thing of, like, that's not even fun enough to warrant, like...
No. Did you love when Babe crossed the Anzac Bridge?
Oh, did I love it? Not necessarily.
Did you recognize the hospital?
Did I get a kick out of it?
That they went to at one point? You know, they go to hospital at one point? Like, yeah, I recognize them. Like, oh, I've taken dates there. Like, this is great. I kind of wish now the next time I go there, just a fucking pig rocks up with like a bloody dog in a wheelchair. Like, oh.
Maybe we should here's a fun little escapade for the show.
Alright, I'm in it.
Why don't we take pigs around to the landmarks featured in Babe 2.
So what, you want to get a shot of like a pig in every landmark?
We'll get a pig, we'll get like a little piglet and we'll take it for a walk. We'll put it on a leash and give it a collar.
Okay.
And we'll just like walk across the Anzac Bridge and see what people say.
Like in the middle of the road, not even like the pedestrian side, like in the middle of the motorway and just see what happens. Like,
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
We won't see what it was. We'll be dead, but like, you know, that's...
We'll
be hit by some...
I would, you know what? It's moments like this where I really wish Babe and Mad Max were in the same universe. Just Mel Gibson rocking up, and he's just like, he has like a. Could you imagine Mad Max Fury Road, but with Mad Max holding a pig? Like he's just like carrying a pig throughout the entirety of that film.
Could you imagine that, like, you know, Immortan Joe's like chasing him down, and it pans over to one of his generals, and it's just like fucking Babe driving like the car, like.
He's like, oh, he's like, no, what does he say? He's like, oh, I can be pretty scary when I want to. Like, it's just like, when he's driving the fucking car, he's just like, excuse me, please. Like, someone knocks his car. He's like, that's very impolite. And he just like turns on the flamethrower. It's like, oh, it would work so well, Brenton. Did you see that sketch of like on bloody, HBO Game of Thrones and Sesame Street?
I didn't. I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
They had like the bloody Game of Thrones cast do this crossover with the Sesame Street Muppets, and it works perfectly. And I want it to happen with Babe and Mad Max. this is the sequel everyone wants for Mad Max 5.
I'm down for it. Hey, man, like I said, like there's a Shrek theory out there. We've created a Babe theory already. Conclude this Babe theory by making this cinematic universe a possibility and put it out there on the internet. You know, George might read it. He's probably already got the idea happening. Like, it's probably there cooking.
Well, you know Goose from Mad Max, so he can get in contact with George. So, like, can you please send this to George?
We'll set up a meeting. We'll meet up with him and we'll say, hey, mate, we want to take these properties that you've made, and we want to make a franchise that'll last 30 years at least. Yeah. We've got all these films lined up, like,
oh my
ready to go.
Is maybe not.
I think he'd be down.
He'd be down. I hear through the grapevine that he's actually like very, very he likes meeting young, you know, people and that kind of stuff. He really likes talking about his movies, and like he's not actually that difficult to get into contact with.
Yeah, right.
So we could do this. We'll get him on the podcast. So.
I feel like he'll regret that instantly once we suggest what we're about to suggest. You know what I mean? Like,
we like invite him to Balmain and we're like, hey, hello George, please come in. And then like he sits down and we're like, so we got a fan theory. He's like, why did I agree to come out?
And he's like, oh, Mad Max, and we're like, yes, and also Babe. And he's like, what?
It's like, also why have you got he's like, why have you got a SWAT team stationed outside the house? I'm like,
why is there a huge pile of festering band-aids over there? Like,
Brenton, I want to rate these movies.
Dude, let's do it.
Okay, Babe 1, where are you sitting
Babe 1, thumbs up, dude.
I agree! And you know what? Not just for kids. I think adults would get a real kick out of Babe 1, you know? You have to go in with a bloody big grain of salt. Like, with a bloody salt mine almost. But I think you should watch it.
Yep, I would agree with that. I think it's a great family film, first and foremost.
Yeah.
And I think the character of Babe and like what this film's about is like uplifting and...
Yeah, if you're in a really sad mood, if you're very, very sad, watch this movie.
Yeah. Babe 2, no. Put it in the pit.
God,
lock it away.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Cut that thing off for bacon right then and there. Like... should we spoil Babe 1, Brenton?
Yeah, let's do it. Alright, what do we want to talk about in Babe 1?
Babe 1, alright. Can we talk about how fucking dark the opening of Babe 1 is? Because I was just like... Because, like, when the mother was replaced by a machine, I was like, dear God, this is, like, heavy. Like...
I know, right? Like,
I don't remember it as a kid.
I kind of vaguely remember that, but it's not at the forefront of my mind when I remember this film, you know what I mean?
It's just so dark. He gets like plucked out of the pen away from all of his siblings. Gets like, and all the pigs are going off. And when the narrator was talking about pig heaven, I'm like, dear God. I'm like, I felt so terrible because actually I do eat pig, but like I don't eat pig that much. But I'm like, oh God, like
it's dark, especially when you consider like, you know, like, well, there's a revelation that happens in this film at a certain point about pigs and their place in the world and you know what they're bred to do.
Yeah, that's also so dark. It's so dark for a children's film,
and it's like that continuity of like that's a big thing to take on.
It's a huge like theme. It's a huge
Daddy,
issue.
Can I have some bacon and eggs and some bacon?
Like Babe's having this existential crisis, like proper, and the farm animals are kind of like dismissing it, going, he won't eat you. Like the point where the farmer almost shoots Babe in the face, and you just see Babe so innocently just like looking up at him. I was like, gripping the pillows on the couch.
That farmer's a dickhead. Like, to be fair,
oh yeah.
Like, anyone that thinks the pig has killed the sheep is
an idiot. Like,
he's an absolute like moron. Like, God.
Oh, when he was like, the fact that he could point a barrel at that pig's face, I was just like, you monster. Like,
that's another dark scene though, when like the dogs get what's her name?
When the mother dog like has to say goodbye to her pups.
Yeah.
Dude, and she's like watching her children be like whisked away, and like there's a violin playing. I'm like, this is the most sad film. Like, I was almost in tears from this moment.
But it's so good though, because you have all this horrible shit happening, and then it's so the payoff at the end when like Babe, I guess, shows his place in the world and does what he was meant to do, and he gets that pat on the back from the farmer saying, you know, that classic line, "That'll do, pig. That'll do."
Pig. Iconic, by the way. Iconic. When he said it, I was like, "You done it, farmer. You're back on my good books."
You know, it's that uplifting feeling that like makes that all kind of worth it to a certain extent.
Yeah, it is. It is, despite the fact that Hugo Weaving gets the shiv in this movie. Because I don't think he does anything that irrational, Hugo Weaving. Like, he seems like a wise leader, you know, like, he doesn't have faith in the pig, but, you know, who would? And then he just gets fucking, like, euthanized for it, or, like, dumbed down. Like, he comes, you know, he gets around eventually, but...
yeah, but I was like,
damn...
He gets a bad rap in this film.
I was like, Jesus, this is dark. There's a lot of dark shit in this movie, and there's a lot of violent shit in this movie.
Yes, there is. Yeah.
When the female duck corked it, I was like, because you think the whole movie that the fucking autistic duck is going to cork it, but then it turns out that the other one is actually the one that goes. And when they finally have the duck for Christmas, you can see the duck going, "Oh, geez, these guys are terrible."
Again, it's like Babe is like the 90s version of Game of Thrones, really. Like,
it really is. Like, random characters just getting corked
left and
out.
right.
Oh, bloody hell. If bloody Bran rocks up in a wheelchair and he's like, "I'm ruling this farm now, I tell you what." Woof. Disagree.
Mar the sheep's death?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's actually the closest I got to crying in this movie. I was surprised. That was so sad. Oh.
Brutal.
I was just
ripped.
And it's bloody. Like, it's just, how the hell did this film get a G rating? There's so much blood in it. Like, there's so much violence. Like, when Babe gets wrecked by the dog, like, I was just, all the blood. I just couldn't do it, Brenton. Like, you and I have watched Exorcist, and I felt that easier to do than this.
I think that it hits you. It hits you like a ton of bricks. You know what I mean? Like, it's
like, even when the cat like scratches Babe, his face just like bleeds like to death. Like,
yeah.
Jesus, what was the blood budget on this? This is insane. What's going on?
I mean, it was like, do we want more animals or we need more blood? And they were like, we know where it's at for these kids.
Actually, you know what? I keep on contradicting myself. The moment I laughed, not laughed, God, Jesus. The point I almost cried the most in this movie, the scene that just drove a dagger in my heart, Brenton, was when the dog, Babe, came up to his mother, the dog, and he's like, "Mum, I think I'm gonna get eaten." And she's like, "Well, yes, because you are a pig." And then Babe was like crying, going, "No, I'm a sheepdog." And his voice is like quivering, and he can't deal with it. It's nighttime. He's like, No, I'm a sheepdog. Brenton, I almost just died then and there.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
And he's so terrified, and he's just shaking, and you can feel how scared this pig must be, and he has no guarantees he's gonna make it out of this. I felt so terrible. I can't recall a time in a movie I felt so sad and so pathetic for a character before.
It's a really good scene, actually. Like,
it's amazing. In a movie, Babe, like Charlotte's Web never does this shit. Like, I was just moved. Like, frankly moved by the film, Babe. That's why I said yes. Like, oh god. I almost feel like kids might not get that, if that makes sense, you know? Like, the gravity of that crisis. Because I think when I was a kid and I watched it, I didn't. Did you?
Well, no, I don't think you really understand the full extent of, like, what that means. Like, I don't know, like, because it's not something we can really relate to in a literal sense. And take out the animal, I know, literally, like, we're not animals.
Yeah, we're not going to get
pigs.
eaten, but, like,
But it's that thing of, like, we're not going to get literally eaten. We're not under that threat 24/7. You know what I mean? We don't have to perform because of that. Yeah.
And you know what? Watching Babe again at this age, I think, seriously, this is the closest I've ever come to being vegetarian.
Seriously?
Yeah. I like watching this film. I was like, I've dated vegetarians. I've read the compelling arguments for vegetarians, and it's, you know, at the end of the day, it's probably the most ethically correct decision. But like, I've always loved meat too much, and then watching this, I'm like, this is wrong. And I remember just like thinking to myself, maybe I shouldn't. Like, this is the closest I've come to it. It really. Also in this country, especially in Australia, it's so hard being vegetarian. Like the meat eating culture we have, it's like, it's, you know, you always gotta have a snag. Like, you can have veggie snags, but, you know, this movie smartly I think this really makes a compelling argument for vegetarianism and almost veganism as well. And I invited it. It didn't feel like it was, you know what I really respect about Babe? It didn't feel like it was blasting a message.
No, I would agree with that. Yeah.
It felt like it was just like telling the story, and it just so happened to be about this pig facing this crisis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's really exciting that it made you feel that way. Like,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like, yeah, and I was moved. I was really, really moved. There were things that I was not so moved by, Brenton.
Sure.
And that was, weirdly, the final scene where he does the bloody comp.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, like, first off, why the hell is there a huge turnout for this bloody sheep herding comp in, like, this country town?
Hey, I mean, like, we'd have to go back to the drawing board of what we were saying before about the world and how
this is
bizarre
not the
everything
real
seems
world.
and
I reckon that in this world, sport just doesn't exist, and this is their footy.
They watch sheep.
Just for some reason in this world's culture, like, this is their premier mode of entertainment. Cause also when, like, the farmer turns on the TV, he watches this, like, weird ass, like, choir for, like, 5 seconds. I honestly think they just don't have movies in this universe, and it's just solely sheep herding. Like, it's like the Pokemon universe. Like how they're all obsessed with catching Pokemon and their whole world is based around it. This is their universe. Everyone's obsessed with sheep herding.
Sheep herding, yeah.
This
Sure.
is it. Which explains why the audience goes crazy at the end. Like they're all...
they go bonkers. Like they lose their minds. Like, yeah.
Oh my god. I remember when you and I saw Infinity War, and I thought that was a fucking crazy audience. They ain't got shit on a fucking sheep herding audience, apparently.
Yeah, they go nuts. Yeah. So yeah, but you said that you weren't you weren't emotionally, let's say, moved or satisfied with that end.
No, because as an
climax?
adult, you see it coming a mile away, and you know he's going to be fine. Also, there's a sequel, so he ain't going to be, losing the comp.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but I actually do you want to maybe segue into number 2? Because I've got a follow-up point. Because in number 2, then I really liked that they set up that he was going to do this state comp, and I forgot the plot of Babe 2 because I'd seen it when I was a kid, and I generally thought he was going to go to the state comp. And and it surprised me that actually, no, they never go. And they never go, even at the end. No. I thought after all the shenanigans, they were eventually going to rock up at the state comp and get the money. But at the end of the movie, they're just like, oh, the chick ended up being rich and she gave him money for the farm.
She sold the hotel, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I don't think that area has that high real estate, to be honest with you.
But, given that the city that they're in, fuck.
Can we talk about that set? Because that set is insanity. Because they built this. You can clearly see that they built this entire suburb.
Yeah.
Did they build it in Fox Studios Australia? Because it looks like they did.
They may have. They probably did, knowing my guess would probably be they would have. Like, they would have done a huge soundstage and just done it for Babe 2. God. That's
insanity, isn't it? Because I know when you and I have gone to film movies at the Fox Studios, I've always, looked at the sets that they still have set up there. And I've never spotted Babe too big in the city, but you know what? Next time I go, I'm going to have an eye out.
So what do you want to talk about in terms of spoilers for Babe 2? Because I'm very confused overall. There's a lot of animals that I just... there's the chimps and stuff, and I didn't like... You know what? I liked Babe 2 because it made me... I love that they made, Esme, I want to say her name is? Esme? The wife? Yeah,
I love that they made her the central... Also, what a fucking weird name, Esme, but okay. I love that they made her the protagonist of this movie. But for some reason, she's now Scottish.
I know, right?
Because you watch them literally back to back. Because in the first movie, she has a thick American accent, but in the second movie, for some reason, she's proper Scottish.
I don't know what was going on. I just watched the film, Nathan. I don't have the answers to that. That's just bizarro. I don't know what I was watching.
Because I like the setup for this movie because they come back from the bloody sheep herding farm. For some reason in this country town, they have a fucking huge parade, filled with thousands. And apparently he got an invitation to meet the Queen for whatever reason. Did you hear that line?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'll just,
calm down, Babe.
If there could be a post-credit scene for this movie, I just want to see Babe rock up at, Buckingham Palace and, fucking Elizabeth is why did I consent to this?
Gets fucking knighted,
Oh my god. Oh, Babe 3, make it happen. Babe 3, pig in the British city.
Oh my god.
Look, so it starts off well, and you know what? My heart almost dropped when I thought the farmer died.
Yeah.
I thought they killed him off. I thought the movie would have started like that, and I was I almost Oh, Brenton, did you think he died?
For a moment,
Yeah.
I
I was like, the balls of him to do this. I'm like, fucking hell, like, good on him. I kind of wish they did almost, like, you know, like the farmer's dead and then they have to get money just to keep the farm open even without the farmer, like, oh. But then, like, he goes to the city and, like, and you watch this duck keep up with a Boeing 747.
I know.
Oh.
I forgot about that, actually.
I'm like, for fuck's sake, with, like, the worst CGI pelicans I've ever seen in my life. And,
True.
like,
This is true.
oh, like, which I kind of wish crossed over with Finding Nemo. Could you imagine just Jeffrey Rush's Nigel just rocks up, like...
Oh my god, with, like, Dory and
Marlin
Bunny
or whatever,
Marvin, like,
yeah.
in the gull.
Oh my god, I wish. Cause the city is Sydney, like, aesthetically it's Sydney, but, like, they rock up, and actually, one of my favorite scenes in this movie was when they rock up in the airport, and you meet the border dog, and you learn that this border dog, like, just actively fucks with the humans.
Yeah. Like,
I lost my shit at that.
It's a great moment.
It's so good. Cause he just, like, he chats to Babe and he's like, oi, I'm just gonna pretend to go apeshit and they'll think you've got drugs. And he's like, what? And then fucking Esme has to get, like, strip searched.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
What is this movie for kids? Like, what?
It's very confusing, and it's kind of like, you're like, that's a funny idea, and then you're like, what? Like,
did that scene remind you of the Mr. Bean movie where
Yes!
he pretends to have a gun in the airport?
He has the gun, like, classic scene. And he's like, and then he, like, gets chased, like, down, and they, like, put your weapon on the ground, and he pulls out his hand, and, like, puts it on the ground. Classic.
Okay, like, I don't know if I want to do an episode on that movie, but, like, right here and now, you gotta watch that Bean movie. It's so fucking good.
Dude, never say never, because I would absolutely love to do
But we
an
already
episode on
know
Bean
it's
the
good.
movie.
Like, we already know you gotta watch this movie. We're both giving it a thumbs up. Like, that's a movie. But yeah, but anyway, we get to this fucking hotel, and it's this weird crossover between, like, Hotel for Dogs, and the set looks as though Tim Burton was involved in this project. You know what I mean? It's this weird kind of, like, I was just waiting for it to segue into, like, bloody, like, Sweeney Todd or something like that. You know? Like,
oh gosh, please no. We don't need a Babe 2 and Sweeney Todd crossover. Thank you.
No, we really
Just
don't.
like-
Or even, like, bloody what's the one with young Ryan O'Rider? That one. You know, a Beetlejuice. Thank you. It's like,
yeah.
it felt a lot like the house from Beetlejuice.
It does,
yeah,
totally.
yeah.
Gosh, Beetlejuice. I haven't watched that in ages.
Oh, that's a good movie. I had a fun
It
time with
is,
that.
yeah.
Bloody Mike. Although I find Michael Keaton's performance so weird in it. I'm not the biggest fan of it.
It's a bit odd.
It's very weird. Oh.
I haven't seen it. Like I said, I haven't seen it in ages, so I need to watch it again. Maybe we'll do an episode. I don't know.
Maybe we will. We'll find out. But anyway, let's talk about this hotel, because, like, there's a lot of going on in this hotel. Do you like it, Brenton, when they stumble upon in a bedroom Cats the musical? And do you wish they had sung a song from that movie?
I just wish they didn't even acknowledge it. Just leave it alone. Gosh. But you know what? I could have done with a Cats medley led by Babe. Sure.
I love when they ask him, "Are you hungry, cats?" and they fucking sing in unison the answer. I'm like, this is so stupid.
Oh gosh.
But what do you think of the monkeys? Because, like, I wasn't that big of a fan of them.
No,
like,
like I said before, I wasn't. Like, I just thought,
or the stray dogs. I didn't give a shit about any of these characters. Like,
the new characters kind of suck, to be honest. Like, they're not.
And the weird, like, pink poodle who's, like, a prostitute, apparently, but, like, in a kid's movie.
Yeah. Don't think about it too much. Just...
Oh my god. At the end, when the narrator said, I even wrote down the quote, the narrator said, "Sad to say that the thing between the pit bull and the pink poodle didn't last. She ran off with another dog and left him with the kids."
Oh my god, yeah.
I just don't understand it.
Subvert expectations, man. Like, just, whatever, I guess. Fun times.
This movie is exhausting and it's completely illogical. I don't know how the monkey doesn't know she's pregnant before she gives birth, and I don't know why.
That's actually funny. Like, that is actually comical. That
like an hour before she gives birth, she's like, "Oh, lol, I'm pregnant now." Like, okay, and
didn't realize that one. Oh.
Also, what hospital consents to an animal circus to do a performance within one of the ward buildings?
Hey, man, I think that whoever organised that performance had to do some strong negotiating to even allow that to for them to be in the building, like let alone like the ward. Fucking hell, like
It's and I can't take any of this shit seriously. I can't take Babe with his fucking collar seriously. Like
no, yeah.
I can't. I laugh the hardest in this movie, Brenton, when we fucking met the man pig.
Favorite scene? Do you think?
When he recommends the hotel and like. And the woman's like, I wonder why he helped us when I had a pig. And the camera pans, and it's the fucking face of the man pig. And I'm like, oh my god. And then you think he's gone, Brenton. You think this is a one-time gag. No, Brenton, you're wrong. Cause what happens, Brenton?
Well, you think it's all over, but you thought wrong.
For some reason, like, the woman Esme goes to court, and no one's cleaned her up since she's had the fucking paint spilled on her.
No, that's the thing that I thought as well. I was just like, what the fuck's happening to Esme in this film? Like, side note, like, really, like,
this woman,
she takes the reins, and I like that as well, and like, it becomes like her relationship with Babe, but fucking hell, she cops it in this movie. Like,
she just gets beaten the fuck up in this. Like, and this is when a dog almost drowns. She still gets the worst treatment. Like, but they're in court, and for what? She just knocked someone over. She didn't even do a crime, but they're in court for whatever reason. And then, like, the judge just happens to be the pig man. I'm just like, who wrote this movie? Like, it's so, I just don't get it. Oh, and I love it. You know what I love the most in this? That when Babe is finally reunited with Esme after all this, when he sees her, he doesn't know her name.
No, he doesn't know her name.
Like,
he
doesn't know it. And he's just like, look, it's her. And I'm like, this is great. I love the screenwriter.
Nathan.
What do you think of that ball? What did you think of the fucking ball that they go to? And she's bouncing around like a fucking Jack in the Box. What is this movie?
Look, I will be honest with you. Like, you said, what is there to get about certain things? And you've asked, I don't think there's anything to get.
There's nothing to draw from this movie.
I don't think there's anything to think about. Like, it's just, like, the ball, like, what? Like, what's happening? Like, I don't...
And for some reason, every attendant at that ball wants to steal the pig. Like, they all, for some reason, want to take Babe, like...
And it's like, it's not really consistent with like how everyone's been feeling about the pig, like the whole film as well. Like, it's just bizarre. Like, and it's kind of scary to a certain extent as well, to be honest. Like, I think if I was a small child and watched this, I'd be concerned.
I'd be so confused. I'm like, what the hell is this garbage? Like, what is this? Imagine being a child growing up in a country farm. You love fucking farm animals, so you put on Babe, and you're like, yeah, love farm animals. Put on Babe, pig in the city. And you're like, oh no, I'm never gonna go to a city now. Like, you meet some redneck 25-year-old, and you're like, oh, how come you've never left the farm? They're like, oh, we know what the city's like, and they like pass you a DVD copy of like Pig in the City.
Can I ask you a question? Were you satisfied with the ending of this film? Like, how it kind of...
No, because imagine like the fucking farmer, like, you know, he finally gets healed of his wounds, and he sees like fucking like 50 animals rock up. One of the dogs is in a fucking wheelchair. Like, the animals are wearing, like, the monkey, like, I just, no, I didn't, Brenton. So it's not sustainable. Like, every animal, like, here's the thing, it contradicts its own lore, because in the first movie, they go on the thing saying every animal here has to serve a fucking purpose. A dog has to, like, herd sheep, you know, chicken lay eggs, ducks for some reason pretend to be crows, like roosters, all that kind of shit. So what the fuck are these stray dogs gonna do?
Hey man, just don't think about it. Just go along with the ride. Like, we don't need to acknowledge Babe 1. I mean, who even liked Babe 1, you know?
Oh
like...
my god. Because Babe 1 is such a wholesome film. Like, imagine if Paddington did this. Have you seen the Paddington films?
I haven't, unfortunately.
So mate, they're great.
I've heard they're great, yeah.
They're so good. They're even better than you think they're going to be. They really escalate in quality just as you're watching it. They're one of those wonderful surprises. Please watch Paddington 1 and 2. They're great. They're also on Netflix. They're very easy to watch. But like,
I'll have to give it a watch, yeah. I'd be interested to see it.
They're great movies. If you ever want to feel good about yourself, just do that. But anyway, imagine if in like Paddington 2, I'm gonna, mild spoilers for Paddington, it doesn't really matter about the plot. So in Paddington, he goes to London and he tries to find a family, he tries to settle in with the family. And in Paddington 2, when he has that family finally, you know, he goes on this adventure to try and find even more family. So it's all about that bloody family. could you imagine if in Paddington, for some reason, Paddington just leaves London and goes to like New York or something like that, and he just ends up like joining some street gang? Like, it's the same problem with Stranger Things too, when like bloody Eleven like joins that fucking
Haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. Then
So I'm very sorry. Yeah.
I won't spoil it then. But yeah.
I'm so sorry.
This movie's got issues. Brenton, let's segue from your inability to be well read to what stills this movie.
Nathan, what does steal this movie? I think you've picked some cracking shots here. Would you care to describe? Would you just like? I don't even think these need description, but I'm going to ask you, Nathan, what stills this movie, and what is going on in this first shot? Because
this is the segment where, like, so Brent and I, we watch these movies, and we screenshot Brent and me a moment in this movie that we just find was an amazing frame, and we just found hilarious, or moving, or intriguing, or whatever. Babe 1. There's a moment where Babe, what the fuck happens? He finally starts eating or something like that. No, the farmer sings to Babe or something like that, and the pig starts like going, "Oh, you're not a bad bloke." And then the farmer just like jumps up out of the lounge, and he's like the most mute character of the whole film, who by the way was nominated for a fucking Academy Award for this shit. And like he jumps.
What?
We'll get to that, mate.
I did not know that.
Oh, mate, we're going to get to this. We're going to get to the bloody Oscar campaign for this movie.
Oh my god!
You wait, mate. So he jumps up, and he's about to burst into a Scottish song, and he pulls this face that's the most like kind of expression you've ever seen.
No, I would say that is the face that like a mass murdering psychopath gets before he goes in for the kill. Like that's just, it's creepy as all shit.
When we watch Silence of the Lambs, there's that scene where Jodie Foster has to like walk around in the dark. When she finally turns on the lights, this is what I thought she'd be looking at.
Oh gosh, what a moment.
Babe 2, I had so many things I screenshotted in Babe 2.
I'm surprised that this was the one you landed on, but I think Babe's expression like in this photo is the funniest shit I've ever seen.
This movie, I love Babe 2 because it's so terrible. Esme is just sitting in the airport, just like clutching Babe in the middle of could you imagine walking around Sydney Airport? By the way, I think this is filmed in Sydney Airport. Could you imagine walking through Sydney Airport? You see this woman just clutching a fucking pig, and this baby like caught like.
Sorry, I just looked at its face again. Like it's so funny.
And this is a real pig, by the way. This is not CGI. Maybe they tweaked the face a little bit in this shot, but like
it looks so happy.
The pig looks so happy. It's the happiest expression you'll ever see in an animal. And by the way, she looks so happy as well. She's got this big rosy cheeks. And they're both looking up directly at the camera because the security guard comes over and he's like, "What's this? Can I see your baby?" And she turns around and she shows him the fucking pig. And I've never seen two characters so happy in a movie in my life.
That is pure joy right there. But also, like, the angle of that shot is just hilarious as well.
Fantastic,
like,
isn't it?
What the DOP... Good work on that one, mate.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Like, oh, Brenton. Oh, how did they make this?
How did they make this? Making movies, Babe 1 and 2. Yo.
All right, Brenton. Let's talk about the success of this movie because obviously you're titillized by the fact that this movie had an Oscar campaign. All right. Oh, by the way, this is for both Babes because let's just hit them at both points.
Let's just smash it out.
All right. So anyway, Babe 1. It was made for $30 million, Brenton. It made $254 million. So.
Insane.
In 1995, Babe 1 was a huge hit, and it was nominated for 7 Academy Awards.
Like incredible. But what I was interested was that I didn't realize that the farmer was actually nominated for an Oscar.
He was.
What category was that in? Like supporting or what?
Yeah, supporting.
What?
I know. The farmer was nominated for Best Supporting, like the same category that Heath Ledger won for the Joker in The Dark Knight. This fucking farmer was nominated.
Gosh.
This movie was nominated for Best Picture, for Best Director, for Best Screenplay, for Best Visual Effects. It didn't win any of them, because guess what movie also came out this year?
What movie came out this year?
Braveheart.
I thought so. I thought it was... yeah.
So Braveheart came out, which we've talked about on this podcast if you want to have a listen. And it beat up all of them, but it did win one Oscar, and this is my favorite thing about it. This movie won the Oscar for Best Visual Effects. And it beat Apollo 13.
Mate, It deserved it for those weird fucking animals.
This movie beat Apollo 13 for special effects. I love it, Brenton. Oh, have you got a fact for me?
USA pork sales dropped by 20% after this film came out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good on it. I mean, sorry for the pig farmers, but good on it, because I read on that similar vein that this film had a huge effect on the growth of vegetarianism.
I heard that the guy that played the farmer became a vegan. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure as
he
well.
did. He did.
Yeah. So that's interesting, and it's so interesting as well that you took away from it that you that was the first time that you've really considered becoming vegetarian.
Yeah, because this film does it.
Yeah.
Because I read a fact that the U.S. Department of Agriculture showed that the demand for pork was actually stagnant and retail sales were at a 5-year low when this film came out.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's huge.
So yeah, it did. It did good things for vegetarianism. So all the veggies love this movie.
Gosh. An interesting note as well. This is a 10-year labor of love project from George Miller.
Really? There you go.
Yeah, he spent 10
of all
years.
Things,
but one of the reasons why it took George Miller 10 years to bring the story to the screen was because he was waiting for special effects technology to catch up with his vision for what he wanted this film to be.
Same with bloody George Lucas and the prequels, am I right? But yeah.
Do you have another fact?
I do. There were 48 pigs used to play Babe. I thought it was just the one pig, but 48 pigs played Babe at the end of the day. So it would have been a little bit difficult for our bloody top 7 animals. The reason it was 48 is because pigs grow so quickly. So,
right. When they're young, obviously.
Yeah, when they're young. So, but one of the funniest things, these 48 these 48 pigs, but the animal trainer, Lewis Miller, admitted that they also did use one animatronic pig.
Oh.
And this pig was used for the wide shots. So when they're around about 15 feet away from Babe, they worked out this is pretty good, so they just put the animatronic pig in the shot.
That's fun. I'm going to rewatch some scenes now.
Speaking of which, the gender of Babe. What gender do you think Babe is, Brenton?
Babe is a boy.
Yeah, I thought so too. But and even though his sex is never really stated in the movie, he's actually a woman. Because if he was a boy, you would have been able to see his private parts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Not that it matters, obviously, but there you go. Another strong female protagonist that happens to be a pig.
An icon, What did you say? Bloody taking up the patriarchy?
Hey, she's doing what she's got to do. I just thought this was funny. Babe was released in theaters in 1995. Which was also the year of the pig.
Oh my god, that's amazing. That's amazing. Of course
Wonderful.
It was. Oh, that was the year you were born, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
I was born in the year of the pig. Yeah.
I'm 96 on the bloody rat, aren't I, mate?
Oh, you are.
Oh, bloody scab as I am. Apparently on the set, the director was fighting a lot with George Miller because the first one wasn't actually, contrary to popular belief, the first one wasn't directed by George Miller. It was directed by bloody Chris Noonan, but he complained after the movie that George Miller tried to exclude him from credit because on set he kept on bumping and tried to overtake shots.
Right.
He said, he said Miller was very, very controlling on set, and then George Miller said when the director said these comments, George Miller came back at him saying that's absolutely not true. But then James Cromwell, who played the farmer on the set, said no, this is 100% true. So, hence why George Miller took over the second film, because he kind of had a falling out with the director of the first one.
Yeah, right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. I just thought it was interesting as well that it was filmed in the Southern Highlands of New South Wales. Though, they made sure that all vehicles drive on the right side of the road.
Because it acts so much like country England. I don't know why they made it stateless.
Bizarre.
Yeah. The last thing I have to say about these facts. So I want to talk about Esme, the farmer's wife.
Yes.
So this woman, Magda, I want to say the actress's name. So it's Magda Subansky. So she plays the wife. Yeah. Oh, you know her?
Yeah.
Or do you actually know her?
No, I don't know her.
Oh,
Gosh,
okay.
I don't know her personally. Gosh. Continue though.
No, she's Australian.
Yeah. She's in Kath and Kim, isn't she?
Yeah. She's in Kath and Kim. Yeah. When she filmed this, she was only 34 years old, and they actually had to age her up by 20 years. She looked like the wife.
Insane.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they put lots of time in the makeup chair to make her look a lot older. And I looked up her, I just found her interesting, so I just went to her Wikipedia page, and she actually has this amazing life biography where in 2017 she became one of the most prominent faces of the marriage equality campaign in Australia.
Yeah, I did know that, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
you know, because she's out and she's a lovely wife, and she was like, you know, we've got to say yes, and so I was like, oh, good on her, you know, bloody Babe's mother just doing the good stuff.
yeah. Good on you,
Yeah.
good on you, Magda.
Mm.
I've got a couple of facts about Babe 2, actually.
Oh, shoot away, mate.
So Babe 2 was actually the biggest flop of 1998.
Is
And
it really?
Despite, like in stark contrast to the first film, it's the biggest box office flop of the year.
I cannot see this thing doing well in cinemas. Audience would be like, what the fuck is this? Like,
No, gosh, no.
God, the 90s was such a weird decade for cinema.
It was, wasn't it? It was.
Really was. Like,
And the last fact I actually have is that Elizabeth Daly replaced Christine Kavanagh as the voice of Babe.
yeah, I
And-
did see that.
But
I
they
didn't notice
they both then starred together in Rugrats.
Of course they did. Good
Yeah,
on
like
them.
I just thought it was funny that there's two babes in Rugrats, which is
Oh.
a show about babies.
Oh my god. Wow, what a joke. Look at him. He's on fire, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, thanks.
Hey,
Thanks.
what a
I'm
time.
here. I'm here every week.
He won't leave. Well, hey,
Hey.
let's look at these films posters.
Okay.
Babe, what do you think? When I said babe, I was talking about the poster, not you, Brenton. Don't get excited. 1 or 2, what do you reckon of these posters?
Babe 1. Hell of a poster. Hell of a poster. That it's a nice.
It's like Babe looking. It's like Babe on the right, looking up at all these farm animals like on the left, and it's like this like little house in the prairie in the distance, and it says Babe, a little pig that goes a long way, and it's very very quaint.
You know, there's only one thing I would do to improve this poster. You might guess it. There's one omission I would make.
I would have them all covered in blood.
No, but okay. I would cut the 3 mice at the bottom of this picture.
Ah, yes.
I hate that shit. Get rid of them.
Because they're also on the second poster, Brenton.
Ugh. Babe Pig in the City.
Shit
What
poster.
a letdown. What a shit poster.
It almost feels like a direct-to-DVD sequel, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but can we talk about like the slogan for this film?
oh my god.
In the heart of this city, a pig
with
with
a
a heart.
Oh, fuck off. And the city looks like bloody Oz in the distance. It's like, oh, fuck off. Like, if Dorothy stumbled upon Babe on the way to fuck on her, she'd just kick him in the face, honestly.
But look at Babe in like, as in the character Babe in the first poster as opposed to the second poster. The second poster, Babe just looks like shit. Like,
I love his haircut, though. I love he's got that little, like...
He's a little tuft.
Yeah. Oh, good on him. They should have had him in the bloody, like, spiked collar. That's what they should have done for the poster.
How do we... Oh, you reckon? is that the way to fix it?
I want this poster for Babe 2 to be a close-up of where Babe's face fills the whole poster. But but he has, like, the devil, like, the bad collar on. And it's like, Babe, pig in the city. And that's the only thing you know about the movie going in. And you're like, ooh, maybe they take a dark turn.
Hey, I'm down with that. That sounds like fun.
Well, title talk, Babe. I guess for the first one, it works. Like, Babe was in
Babe's
Babe,
great.
wasn't he?
Great title. Like it lives up to the fact that it is the titular character, and she's awesome. Like I think
Yes.
it's the perfect name for the film.
It is.
Babe, and I will also say Babe Pig in the City is also a perfect title.
Oh
for
my
that
god,
film.
no it's not, Brenton. No it's not. You
it
shut
is
the
too.
fuck up right here and now.
How can you not love a film called Babe Pig in the City?
It's
like,
so
come on.
stupid.
How much
It's
fun
like,
is that?
I mean,
It's so stupid, but like it sums up the film perfectly.
it's very memorable. I will give it that. And also, most people would have heard of that title at some point if you pay
Yep.
attention to cinema. Everyone knows the title, fucking Babe Pig in the City. Because you imagine if someone says, "Do you want to put on Babe Pig in the City?" Like you can't take it seriously. Like, but I don't know. I would give it a more. But then again, it does kind of reflect the stupidity of the sequel. Like,
Exactly, Nathan. Exactly.
I mean, and the pig was in the city, so like,
What would you call it though?
I would just call it Babe Eats Shrooms. Like, frankly.
Dude, I have a question.
Sure.
Can we pass it?
Let's pass it.
the
Power! Power to the people, let's pass it to the people, the power.
Power to the people, people. Power to the people.
All right.
That might be the worst time I've sang power to the people, so...
It's probably because I was singing at the same time as you, and we both did terribly. Like,
yeah, well, you know...
Yeah, Nathan's turns, you're like, I can't harmonise with that shit.
Here
like,
at Classic Movie Banter, we do things as a team. It's a team effort.
I also love it because at one point in both yours and my lives, we were in a choir together, so you think we would have been better at this? Like,
hey man, nothing's ever a guarantee in life.
No.
And that's your little life lesson.
That's bloody takeaway from Babe too. There's the fucking moral right then and there. Nothing's guaranteed. Speaking of guarantees, Babe won Rotten Tomatoes. Critics gave it fucking 97%.
Oh yeah, Babe. Oh,
they
damn.
loved it, but the audiences they gave it 67.
Fuck you.
Should have been a lot higher. Mate, Jay Bayowa from Orlando Sentinel, he loved this. He said, much to my surprise, I found Babe charming in an eccentric, oddly tough-minded sort of way. And if it isn't quite good enough to change my mind about the entire critter chat genre, it is certainly good enough to recommend. I agree. This certainly makes you feel optimistic about the talking animal genre of like fucking Air Bud and fucking Beethoven and bloody Beverly Hills Chihuahua or whatever shit exists. So I feel like this stands out in that genre as like the peak of it.
Sure. Yeah, no, definitely. Aside from those weird CGI issues we mentioned before.
Yeah.
Carrie Rickey, Philadelphia Inquirer, top critic, gave it a good review. Gave it, Babe is not, strictly speaking, a kids' movie. It is a preposterously funny fable that strikes a chord with adults, comma, two. Right.
I could use that good grammar.
Yeah.
Do you agree? Do you reckon? I don't think you
sure.
could watch Could you watch this alone as an adult, or do you need like that family or child with you?
I locked myself in a dungeon and did it, so it is possible.
I mean, you did it, yeah.
You know what? Like after Babe 1, like I think the reason that I continued on to Babe 2, and I didn't mention this before, was that it was good. Like it put me in a good mood. So I was like,
did you have high hopes? And you're like...
I didn't necessarily have high hopes, because I thought the second one would be shit. Because it's called Babe Pig in the City. But,
oh my god!
But at the same time, I was like, I can keep going. I could just keep this going. Like it wasn't. Yeah, it was. It like it says, it kind of struck a chord. So I was like, yeah, let's keep this good time rolling.
Keep this boat going. Tom Gigliotto from People Magazine didn't like it. He said the plot provides a worthy lesson for kids, but it plays out like George Orwell's Animal Farm as retold by Barney. Kinda weird.
I get what he's saying. I do get what he's saying, but
yeah, it kind of would have been funny if this did segue into Animal Farm. Like one of the ducks, like maybe we should try communism. It's like, or the fucking stray dogs rock up at the end of Babe 2, and they're like, let's change the society. Like they overthrow the farmer and the wife, and the animals start running the farm.
Oh Jesus, Jesus save us! No, hail Babe. Babe! Laurie Hoffman from the Atlantic City Weekly. Oh, God. Do I have to say this? 5 out of 5. This flick brings home the bacon.
Oh, my God. I can't believe this woman wrote that.
But look at her photo, though. Like,
it's very creepy, isn't it? It's like this. Does it look a little bit like Pauline Hanson? Like a chubbier Pauline Hanson?
I think so, yeah. Maybe
yeah,
it is.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, she get around this. Christopher Fortini wrote, "This pig is my favourite."
Which is ironic because Christopher Fortini's profile picture is of a flamingo, so...
Maybe he just likes the colour pink. Yeah, I must say, I do like Babe more than Peppa Pig. And, you know...
Yes, agreed. Fuck Peppa Pig.
Bloody Porky Pig. I also like Babe more than him.
Yeah, no, I would say that as well, though Porky Pig is on the list of pigs that I know. It goes Babe, then Porky, then fucking what's her name? Peppy. What?
Oh, Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig, get fucked.
I feel like there are other pigs that we're forgetting that are very famous, but obviously the pig from Charlotte's Web. Send us your favourite pigs, listeners.
Oh no, the boar from bloody Princess Mononoke.
Oh my god, yes! Oh my god. Like the huge one that runs the colony. That's a pretty damn good pig, isn't it?
Mick
Oh my god, no,
Gowan.
Spider Pig is my favourite pig.
Yes! Spider Pig. I'm not going to continue that. Mick Gowan says, Chris P. Bacon was amazing in this movie.
Good one, McGowan.
That's something else, you know?
Patrick Langan wrote, "The only thing I liked in this movie was Babe saying, 'Get out of here, you big buttheads.'"
Great line.
Great line.
Only
Babe 2.
thing you liked, though. That's a strong statement. Anyway, continue.
Babe 2. Pig in the City. Got a 63% on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics.
Still above.
And 40% from audiences. So, you know.
Yeah, that's where it's at. Sean Nelson from The Stranger, Seattle. Babe, Pig in the City is one of the most subversive films ever marketed to children.
This reminds me so much. What was it? Was it what was that thing we reviewed that like everyone was saying this is like the peak of art? Like it's not Citizen Kane. Was it Pokemon? I think it was.
I think it was, yeah.
This reminds me of that, man. Like, fucking hell. Like,
that's so funny.
Oh, like Luke Buckmaster from the Daily Review, he wrote a brilliant, grotesquely underrated family film, criticized at the time for release of being too dark for young audiences. Like, no.
Luke looks like he's had a few of the same mushrooms, so we'll let him be. But no. Pat Graham, Chicago Reader. It's George Miller's masterpiece, maybe even the best commercial film of 1998.
They wrote that for Babe, Pig in the City. No, it's not. Oh my goodness.
It's not.
I mean, you know what came out in 1998?
What?
Fucking Blade.
Hey, that's where it's at.
That was the best film of 1998. I mean, obviously it's more for our audience, but like, yeah, mate, that was it. George Miller's masterpiece. So everyone knows Happy Feet 2 is George Miller's masterpiece.
Mate, I'm really feeling like I want to watch Blade again. Like, that got me excited. That gave me chills.
It's so good, isn't it?
I love that
Even
film.
now, it's so good.
Dude, we need to catch up and watch it, like, for sure.
We needed. I'm so keen to watch it, just to watch it again. Because we did that like back in like what was it, like episode 13? I want to say it was like ages ago.
Something crazy, dude. That was so much fun. That film. God damn.
Oh, I miss Wesley Snipes. Bloody Jeffrey Westhoff from the Northwest Herald didn't like it. Said Babe needed a sequel as much as Citizen Kane or Casablanca.
Okay, look. Fair point, but I'm not going to compare Babe 1 to fucking Casablanca and Citizen Kane.
And this is a professional movie reviewer I snipped this thing from. I'm like, come on, mate.
Karina Montgomery says that, imagine the mouse chorus saying this, a disappointing nightmare.
A disappointing nightmare, like God.
Oh God.
Terrible.
Please die.
Garrett W gave it half a star and said movie scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
Yeah, I can imagine it would. I can imagine it would. Yeah.
Probably would. I can't remember being that scared by it, but like 100%. If you were like proper young, you're like, oh, Babe, Pig in the City's got to be an easy children's film. No, this shit's dark. You watch a dog almost drown. Like, this shit is scary.
Dude's darkest kids film I've seen was actually Return to Oz.
Oh yeah, that shit is dark. We should get to that at some point.
That's a potential review, yeah.
I think it's less than 20 years though. I think they made that recently. I think it's like early 2000s. Oh no.
No. Return to Oz is old, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it's like 80s or something like that.
80s or 90s, yeah. I can't,
there you go. Maybe we should. But we know that movie's shit. Like, or maybe it's not. We'll find out.
No, I'd like to rewatch it because I was terrified of that film. And those wheelers. Greg T gives it 5 stars and said, as good as the original movie, but stands on its own as a heartwarming and fun movie all of its own.
You sounded so skeptical reading that.
Dude, because I am. Greg T, god damn. It's nowhere near as good as the original movie. What do you want about?
Yeah, what you want about Greg T? And the last of the reviews, Vincent L. gave a half a star and simply wrote, awful, senseless, and sad.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks to that. Brenton, we've done it. We've gone through the double bill of the babes. What the fuck is our podcast canon, Brenton? Like, even our 50s, why have we done like bloody like Pikachu? Like, where we done bloody Pokemon, and then like Top Gun, and like Rocky 4? Like what is this podcast, Brenton?
Well, Nathan, we're in our 50s. We've lost touch.
This is early on to Alzheimer's, honestly, mate. Like, we're losing the plot. Like, if you're listening, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Like, yeah, whenever we hear from you guys, like, it reminds us that our insanity is producing something, isn't it?
We love you guys. We love hearing from you. We love interacting with you, and we love doing the show. But I think we may have lost the plot officially.
Oh, we love you as much as Babe loves bloody herding sheep. So. You know, if
true love exists, that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Brenton, I'm just. That'll do, Brenton. That'll do.